Hello makers, this is another Colorize project I made for the Sizzix blog back in 2021. And again, that blog is long gone, so I am doing a talk through and I also have the directions on my blog at playswellwithpaper.blogspot.com. So let's go ahead and get started on the talk through. This project was on a framed panel that was part of the idea-ology line. So if you have a framed panel, go ahead and get that out. If you don't have a framed panel, they were 6.5 by 8 3/4 on the outside, 5.5 by 7 3/4 on the inside opening. So any frame that's around 6 by 8-ish is going to be fine for this project. You're also going to need some brown distress paint, distress crayons in a few colors, and then a sanding block or something to sand it down. I will say that you can just skip the next two steps if you already have a frame that's stained or painted or exactly the way you want it for this project. This is just for frames like the framed panels that need painted or altered to prepare it for this project. I began by painting the frame and the panel with distress paint in walnut stain. And then once it was dry, I sanded off in areas that I thought it would naturally wear off on an antique frame. And then I went over some of the high points and some of those areas that I sanded off with walnut stain distress crayon. Now, I know that were still some areas that I had sanded off, and I wanted those to be even darker. And so I sprayed some ground espresso distress spray stain over the whole frame and then rubbed it in with my fingers to make sure that it went down into the areas to kind of make that raw wood look stained. For the background, you're going to need the Doodle Art 2 die, a neutral patterned paper, some distress collage medium, and a distress brush or a brush of some sort to put the collage medium on. Now, doodle art comes in two dies. There's die number 1 and die number 2. I chose die number 2. The paper that I'm using to cut out the die is from Wallflowers. And I liked it because it was neutral, but there was a little bit of text in the background. If you don't have any of that paper, you might want to choose something from, say, Backdrops number volume 4 that has a lot of neutrals with text in the background. Right, you're going to want enough to be able to cut two full backgrounds out, and then you can see that I trimmed out some of the pattern. I didn't want to leave it square, so I trimmed out two parts of the pattern, and I have this particular picture on my blog so that you can refer to it if you want to know where exactly to trim. And so you can see that I left the corners in, and then you need another piece of the same paper that's going to fit within your frame. So I cut mine 6 by 8, and that went around under the frame. And then I'm going to put these two in the corners on top of it. All right, once I trimmed them out. So now I'm going to attach all of this to the back panel. Now, if you have a different frame, you don't have a framed panel, then I would advise maybe cutting a piece of chipboard that you're going to put in your frame that's the same size as the piece of paper that you're going to cover it with, and then go ahead and do these next steps by applying that to the chipboard, like I'm going to apply it to the um, panel for the frame. All right, so I put a whole layer on the panel. I applied the whole sheet of paper to that panel, made sure it's stuck down, and then I applied collage medium all the way to the front of the paper, on the entire front of the paper, and I put both corners from the doodle art in the bottom left and the top right of the panel, and I covered the whole thing again with collage medium. Now when you do that, you can see the light glaring off of the brush strokes from that. And I didn't want brush strokes in mine. If you like that textural look, and some people do, that's great. Just leave it and let it dry. For me, I wanted it to be smooth. And so Paula Cheney taught me to do this. You just take your fingers and just kind of rub in circular motion all over the whole back, and it will just kind of knock down those brush marks. It actually helps it dry faster too, but I just rub my fingers over the whole thing and kind of smooth out all those brush marks and then let it dry completely. For the next portion, you need distress wood grain cardstock, ground espresso distress spray stain, crushed olive and peacock feathers distress paint, black heavy stock, hand cut lowercase alphanumeric dies. We're going to work on the title. All right, so take your piece of wood grain cardstock and you want to spray stain it with the ground espresso distress spray stain. And once that's dry, put a little drop or two of crushed olive distress paint on to your media mat. Pick it up with your finger and then just lightly kind of brush it over the high points of the wood grain, and then do the same with the peacock feathers. And you will end up with something that looks a little like this, and it's going to kind of give an old wood feel, but also with some colors that are going to blend with the background. When that was dry, I cut the sentiment for this piece, and I chose Stand Tall and Rise Above because Gertrude is a giraffe, and giraffes represent confidence, peace, and power. And I just thought that the die cut for Gertrude really did exude a peaceful confidence. And so that is why I chose Stand Tall and Rise Above. So I cut it out of the wood grain, and then I cut it more times out of black heavy stock, and then I stacked those so that the sentiment would really stand out. I use the same technique to smear a little bit of scattered straw distress paint onto a piece of distress cracked leather cardstock, but you could also use the distress wood grain cardstock, either way. Then once I had the paint on all of the raised areas, I sprayed it with antique linen distress spray stain and let that dry. And once it was dry, I cut it into thin 1/8 of an inch strips, and later on I'm going to use that to make a frame inside the wooden frame, just to kind of pull the whole thing together. Our background should be dry at this point, so we want to add some color to it. You need some Distress crayons in peeled paint, weathered wood, peacock feathers, fossilized amber, and crushed olive. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just add some color in layers in the following way. You're going to take the peacock feathers and scribble it on some areas of that, uh, the background die cut, just like you see in this picture, onto the background, trying to get it down into the crevices and things like that, and then continue on in another section until you get several little areas with the peacock feathers color. Then we're going to move on to another color. Do the same with the fossilized amber, the crushed olive, the peeled paint, until your whole background just has a bunch of little areas of those colors all mixed throughout. When the coloring is done on the background, you need to get a walnut stain distress crayon and go ahead and just rub that around the very edge of your piece and kind of rub it in. And then I lightly took my fingers with some of the walnut stain on it, and I rubbed that over just the edges of the doodle art to just give it a little bit of a shadow. Now I want to add some interest to the frame and also help tie it in a little bit. So scribble a little bit of weathered wood distress crayon on some of the raised areas of whatever frame that you have, and then rub it in with your fingers and let it dry. It will kind of help tie that brown frame in to the background, and it'll also help it feel a little bit more vintage. At this point, we now need to attach the frame to the panel. So put a little bit of collage medium all the way around on the back side of the frame. You need to line it up with the panel, and then you need to have something that's going to give constant pressure to keep that frame in contact with the panel while it dries. So I usually stack some books on it and keep even pressure on it for quite a while it dries. That'll give you time to put Gertrude together. At this point, it's time to put Gertrude together if you haven't already done that. And I put her together by cutting out all the pieces from Distress Mixed Media Heavy Stock. I colored it with various brown distress inks, a little bit of scattered straw, wild honey, that kind of thing. And then I put her together following not only the picture on the outside of my die cut, but also using the video and the instructions on the Sizzix website. Those are all really helpful. Now that the frame is adhered to the back panel, we want to do a few finishing touches. So I took those 1/8 of an inch strips of either wood grain cardstock or cracked leather cardstock that we colored earlier, and I just attached them and made an inner frame about a 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch inside that outer frame. And then within that outer frame, I went ahead and centered the sentiment and Gertrude to make sure that I had the same amount above and below the frame for the sentiment, and then made sure that it all just kind of fit cohesively inside. Now, when you do this, uh, remember that the sentiment has 3 layers of cardstock, and so it's going to be standing up a little bit. We also want Gertrude to stand out, and so add a little bit of chipboard or foam tape behind her before you attach her to the panel as well. And then just take a moment as you're looking at these close-ups to appreciate the beauty of the background panel that you've made. So I love the patterned paper behind the die cut, behind all of those distress crayons, and how even though we have all of the color and everything on top of the patterned paper, how all those little details still show through, little bit of text, little bit of pattern, little bit of color that was all underneath, really adds to the depth of this piece and the background, which I think is really beautiful and highlights beautiful Gertrude and the sentiment that goes so well with her. So this is really a lovely decor piece. I hope you enjoyed learning how I made it. I hope it inspired something for you as you make some of your own decor pieces. And as always, any of the products that are still available from this older tutorial, I have linked in the description for today's video. They're also on my blog at playswellwithpaper.blogspot.com, as well as the written instructions for today's tutorial that I originally wrote when I made this back in 2021. Those are on my blog as well. So thank you so much for following along with these tutorials that I've done that are a little out of the ordinary. And so I appreciate you so much for watching. Thank you very much. And with that, I wish you a very creative day.